As I was brushing my teeth, my reflection suddenly stopped mimicking my movements and grinned menacingly. It mouthed, "See you soon," before resuming my actions. I woke up to a text from an unknown number that read, "Check the closet." When I did, I found a photo of myself sleeping with the timestamp from just a few minutes ago. Every night I hear a faint lullaby coming from the attic. When I finally gathered the courage to check, I found an old music box playing on its own with no key in sight. I found an old, dusty journal hidden under the floorboards, detailing someone's obsession with watching me. The last entry mentioned tonight's date, saying, "Tonight, I finally make my move." I was home alone when I heard someone calling my name from the basement. As I descended the stairs, I realized the voice was mine, but distorted and desperate. My wife woke me up in the middle of the night, terrified, saying she saw a man standing in our room. I comforted her until I remembered she died 2 years ago. I received a voicemail from my own number, a voice eerily similar to mine whispering, "Don't go to work tomorrow." I decided to stay home and later heard about a tragic accident at my office. I woke up to find all the pictures on my wall had been replaced with photos of me sleeping. The scariest part was that they were all taken from different angles, and I never saw anyone enter my room. As I was drifting off to sleep, I felt someone gently kiss my forehead. I live alone, and my door was still locked from the inside. My son came to me, saying there was a monster under his bed. When I checked, I saw myself staring back, wide-eyed and grinning. My phone's camera roll suddenly filled with hundreds of pictures of me taken while I was asleep. I don't remember taking a single one. I heard someone breathing heavily right next to my ear as I was lying in bed. The worst part is, I was alone in the house. The old radio in my attic turned on by itself, playing a song I haven't heard since my childhood. As I listened closer, I realized it was my mother's voice singing, but she passed away years ago. I was playing hide and seek with my son when I heard him whisper from the closet, "Dad, there's someone else in here with me." When I opened the door, it was empty. I received a text from my wife asking when I would be home. The problem is, I was sitting right next to her when I got the message. I woke up to find a note on my pillow that said, "Don't turn around." I could feel someone breathing behind me. My cat has been staring at the same corner for hours, hissing and growling. When I finally checked, I saw a faint outline of a figure slowly disappearing. I found an old VHS tape labeled "Watch Me." When I played it, the video showed someone filming inside my house, but it wasn't me or anyone I know. As I was taking a shower, I noticed writing appearing on the fogged-up mirror. It spelled out, "Get out!" just before the lights went out. I woke up to the feeling of someone gently stroking my hair. When I reached up to touch it, I realized a cold, unfamiliar hand was already there. I woke up to find handprints smeared across my bedroom ceiling. The worst part was that they weren't mine, and I had locked the door before sleeping. Every night I hear faint breathing coming from the corner of my room. Tonight I realized it was mimicking my own. I received a voicemail from my own phone number, but when I played it back, all I heard was myself screaming. I haven't made a sound. I thought I heard my wife talking in her sleep, but when I leaned in to listen, I realized her lips weren't moving. The voice whispered, "I'm still here." As I was folding laundry, I came across a shirt I've never seen before. I live alone and my closet is locked at night. My daughter keeps telling me about the man who stands in her room every night. I thought it was just a dream, until she described the clothes my father was buried in. My security camera went off, detecting motion in my living room. When I checked the footage, I saw myself standing there, staring directly into the camera. I walked past my bathroom mirror and saw something move in the reflection. When I stopped and looked closer, my reflection wasn't following my movements anymore. I was sitting in my car, alone, when I saw someone in the rearview mirror smiling at me from the back seat. The doors were still locked. I woke up to find someone had carved the word "run" into my arm during the night. My bedroom door was bolted shut, and I don't own any knives. I was tucking my daughter into bed when she asked, "Who's that man standing behind you?" I live alone. I woke up to the feeling of cold hands wrapping around my ankles. But I was the only one in the room. Or at least, I thought I was. The doctor told me there was nothing unusual in my x-rays, but I had seen those eyes staring from inside me. My mom has been calling me non-stop for the past hour. The problem is, she died last week and her phone was buried with her. I sang my daughter a lullaby as she drifted off to sleep, but when I looked down, she was gone. The soft melody continued from the closet, where her giggles echoed back at me. When we dug to bury my grandfather, we found his grave open and empty. An hour later, we received a call from him asking for help. Every time I turn off the lights, I see a shadow in the corner of my room. It gets closer every night. I woke up in the middle of the night to warm breath near my ear. When I looked under the covers, nothing was there. I heard a knock at my door late last night, but I didn't answer. This morning I found a note that said, "See you tonight." The baby monitor crackled to life, and I heard a soft voice whisper, "Don't worry, I'll take care of him. My baby is right here in my arms." As I lay in bed, I felt a warm breath on my neck. But when I turned around, no one was there. I smiled at my reflection in the mirror, but it didn't smile back. Instead, it leaned closer and whispered, "You're not alone anymore." I woke up to the sound of my mother calling me from the kitchen, but she had died years ago. I felt a cold breath on my neck as I turned to see her standing behind me. My friends and I were playing hide and seek in the dark when I found a great hiding spot. But when they called for me to come out, I realized they were still looking for me, somewhere outside. I always closed my bedroom window before bed, but last night, I woke up to find it wide open. I could have sworn I heard someone whispering my name from outside. I heard heavy footsteps heading toward my room in the dark. When I turned on the light, the footsteps stopped, but the shadow was still trying to enter. When I opened my eyes in the night, I saw my mother standing and watching me. Then I remembered. She died a year ago. I was reviewing the poems I had written in my notebook when I noticed lines I hadn't written. They read, "I'm watching you. Don't look behind." My daughter sent me a picture of her room, and in the background, there was a strange face looking at the camera. But she was home alone. I received a video on my phone of me sleeping in bed. I live alone and have no cameras. I found my reflection in the mirror smiling back at me, even though I wasn't. It hasn't stopped smiling since. My phone lit up with a message from my brother saying, "Help me." But he's been missing for months. As I rocked my baby to sleep, I heard a soft cooing coming from the empty nursery. I turned to find a shadowy figure cradling an invisible child. Every night I hear scratching at my bedroom door, and every night I ignore it. Tonight the scratching stopped, and I realized I forgot to lock it. I heard footsteps behind me while I was walking home alone at night. When I turned around, there was no one there, but the footsteps kept getting closer. I found an old doll in the attic that looked just like me as a child. Every night since, I wake up to find it sitting on my bedside table, smiling. My alarm went off at 3 a.m., waking me from a deep sleep. As I reached to turn it off, I noticed the time was frozen, 3 o'clock a.m., and the sound was coming from inside my closet. My little sister's doll sat on the shelf in front of her bed. When I woke up in the middle of the night, I found the doll sitting on mine. As she was drawing, my daughter told me she was sketching her friend who lives in the closet. With every stroke of the brush, I heard something moving inside the closet. I heard children laughing and playing in the living room. When I went to check, all I found were scattered dolls on the floor.